it. I'm gonna
Okay.
briefly explain the emotional wave at the end, just so you have it recorded.
Okay.
So, as for a role, what I see mostly is some sort of something where you have to interact with people. You have a lot of social channels. Your emotional wave is the channel of opening, which is very social. The 33 is also very social. I don't know, project management, but something that allows you to move into social environments where you can start something, interact with people for your fifth line, but it also allows you to have alone time for you to do your research, for you to read your things. You need something that is in and out.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's the position that would best fit you. It's a position that, even for example, kind of researcher would fit you. The first line is actually called the investigator, the researcher. So even something like that would fit you, where you go for long periods of times researching something and then you share your insights as the fifth line and help people, implement something, a project or something.
Mm, okay.
But you
I
need
see.
something that goes in and out. Since you talked about creativity, yeah, creativity would work in the sense of you stay in creating and then you share it. Like it doesn't have to be necessarily paintings or very artistic things, but it can be even music. The individual wave, the one you have here, is very connected with music actually. So it can be anything, but it has to be something that allows you in and out processes.
Okay. I see.
You need your alone time, and sometimes it might be just a couple of days, but sometimes it might be 2 weeks where you just need to research, or 2 months,
Mm.
to research and create something and stay. And the first line needs a solid foundation. And that solid foundation is usually built. The first line both studies and creates, but they create based on something else. To explain to you, I am a 4 1. So where you have 5, I have 4, but I also have the 1 on the other side. And I'm going to explain to you how 1 functions for me. Uh, when I create something, I created my own program where I mixed alchemy with human design. When I create something, I don't get inspiration from, I don't know, the divine or, instant inspiration like writers and music writers describe. I get it through research. I read something and that inspires me to combine something with something. It's more of a puzzle piece making than creating out of thin air.
Okay. I see.
You study different things, you interact with different people, you interact with different ideologies, and from different ideologies, something else you connect. It becomes obvious to you, and
Okay.
that's how the first line creates, and the fifth line would share. The benefit you have, like you have the fifth line, is the fact that you are universalizing, is the fact that people actually want to listen to what you're saying. For me, as the fourth line, I need to get to my network first. I need to get my people, people around me on board first, so they can
Okay.
actually help me. But for it's much easier for you to gather strangers than people around you. So people right
Okay.
next to you, your friends, your family might not buy your idea, but complete
Yeah.
strangers will.
Okay.
Um, Also, the split you have here tells me that you're constantly looking for somebody who kind of can explain your logical thinking, because this part I told you already, it's cut off from the rest. And this part, it's about the future and sees possibilities, and you're looking for ways to express it.
Okay.
Here it's cut off, and you might actually start partnering with people that you feel get you. Oh, you're getting me. Now the thing is, usually these people are very experiential because the 11 you have right here that doesn't connect, you don't have the 56. This is still a collective channel, but this is an experiential one. This is logic, this is experience. And you are thinking about it, they are doing it.
Mm.
You are seeing a possibility, and they come and say, yeah, just like it happened to me that time when I was, and they tell you a full story about how it relates with your idea.
Oh, okay.
And you're going to be looking for people like that, people who don't only think in logical terms but have the experience to confirm what you're working on.
Okay. Yeah.
You might be working with people who are older than you, who have the experience, because for the collective channel, the amount of time, the amount of experiences that they gathered matters.
Yeah.
So you might find yourself working with people older than you. You might find yourself working with people who are more experienced than you because you want to confirm that what you're thinking about logically works in the real world.
Okay. Yeah.
You are meant for partnerships. You work best in partnerships. I'm actually going to move it a bit on the business part.
Okay.
You can work solo or you can work with collaboration with one person. That's how you work best in partnerships or solo.
Okay.
Like I said, it's going to be an in and out. You need the solo for this research, and you will need somebody to bridge you here so you can express to others. Now,
Okay.
look at the jobs that are suggested for you: accounting, administration, coordination, implementation, oversight. Like I told you, some sort of project management, some sort of, regardless if it's creative project, business project, whatever it is, it's some sort of project management where you can implement ideas and you can be in and out.
Okay.
Um, what are the things that pull you back, as it says here? Too much in a hurry. Too much in a hurry, it's because you have, I didn't get there yet, an open root center. I will explain it in a second.
Okay.
Overzealous is because you have the open ego center, which means you're trying too hard. You might overdo things.
I see. Yeah.
Lack of flexibility is the open spleen. This deals with fear. So you're holding on to things. You might be literally holding on to things, as in you have memory boxes or have clothes that you have since forever or things like this. So you might be literally holding on to objects, or you're holding on to how it's done. It has to be that way. It has to be this way.
Yeah.
And overcompensating and overcommitting, this is the open sacral here. And that's not knowing when enough is enough, which means you can take on more responsibilities than you can carry.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, going to the open centers to explain them a bit to you. So, in human design, everything that's colored in, which is what we discussed now, is
Yeah.
who you are. Everything that's white, it's what you're here to learn. Now,
I
on
see.
one side, these have all negative attributes because they're white and you're taking in, they're open. That's what it means that they're white, they're open. You're taking in energy from somebody else. So when somebody else interacts with you, you're gonna take in their energy in these open centers and you're gonna amplify it. It's gonna feel more real to you than it actually feels to them.
Mm.
And while this has obviously negative attributes, which I'm gonna detail, they also have wisdom because this is what we're here to learn. And this is how we make money most easily through the open centers.
Okay.
So the ego center, the negative aspect of it is that you're trying to prove yourself. You're trying to prove your worth. Um, you might deal with shyness or issues of self-esteem,
Mm-hmm.
and for that reason, you might most people with this open center, they have an tendency to be people pleasers, to do what other people say so that people will see them as good, as useful, as
Yeah.
but the wisdom of it is the fact that you can see value. You are the only ones who see the actual value of something, whether it is a person, you can actually see if that person is what they pretend to be or not. Whether it is a product, you can't be scammed by, I don't know, promos and stuff because you know exactly if the value is worth it or not. It
Mm.
can be projects. You can see if the project is worth going further with or not.
Okay. Yeah.
But in the not self, when you're trying to people please, you might override that. You can see that the object, the project, the person is not worth your time, but you might say yes because, well, others are so hyped about it and you want to please them. You know,
Yeah. Okay.
you are here to learn to trust that inner value.
Okay.
Now, the spleen is, like I told you, the center of fears, and the fact that it's open tells me that when fear sometimes might actually paralyze you,
Oh.
especially the fear of repeating mistakes of the past. That's going to be quite proeminent. The fear of repeating something from the past, the fear of not
Mhm.
learning from your own mistakes. Oh, am I doing it again? And is this the same thing like last time?
Yeah.
And the wisdom of it is the fact that it's actually intuition, the most strongest intuitive center. But because it's open for you, it's very hard to trust it. I have the open spleen as well. So intuition to us doesn't come like in the same way every time. You will see
Okay.
people online saying that they hear things, clairaudience, clairvoyance, whatever. They know exactly how their intuition comes to them. They can name it, they can give it a name.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. Intuition comes in whatever shape or form. Sometimes you you see something in a newspaper and it sounds
Mhm.
different. Oh, this is kind of important, and that's your intuition speaking. It doesn't come the same way every time.
Okay. Okay.
And that's because it doesn't come in the same way every time. It's kind of hard to trust it because it's gonna feel like, is this my intuition or am I making up stuff?
Uh, yeah.
That's again the lesson here. Like I said, what's right is what we're here to learn. And the lesson here is to start trusting your intuition, to start trusting the way it comes to you. It might not be linear, it might not be logical, although you're looking for logic a lot. But you're going to notice things happening and all these kind of things. Now,
Yeah.
the sacral center, this is the motor of the world. Most of the population of the world are generators, so they have this center defined. And the sacral functions like a battery. When people who have a defined, a colored in center like this, when they start doing something they enjoy, they never stop doing it.
Okay.
And this is why you might be influenced to do the same, but you have it open here. So you're going to get tired, you're going to get exhausted, you're going to get burnt out. As a manifestor, like I said before, you are meant to start things, you're not necessarily meant to finish them. It's perfectly fine to let somebody else finish it. You come with the idea, you come with the plan, you start doing it so that people understand. But at some point, you're like, all right, guys, you can pick it up from here.
Oh, okay.
um, but the fact that you have it open, it makes you want to push it. Makes you want to finish it. It makes you want to push yourself a bit harder than you can actually. And that's the lesson that you will have to learn, probably through trial and error, that sometimes you have to let go of projects that you started.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fine if something didn't get to an end. It wasn't supposed to, somebody else was supposed to pick it up. It might create a lot of feelings of incompleteness, like I never finish anything I start. It might create a lot of judgment, especially since you also have the open ego, so you judge yourself quite harshly. So you might judge yourself when you give up on things.
Yeah.
But it's something that you're gonna learn how to balance, how to know when it's time to step back, when it's time to recharge, when it's time to allow others to help.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
the open root is a pressure center. The open root is really really hard to have. I have it too. The open root, it actually pushes you, it creates a pressure, exactly what I said before, to finish what you're started. And this, because it's open, this pressure comes from outside. Most likely people outside will tell you how good you're doing with something and they'll push you to finish, and it's a constant pressure. And also, your mind, because of this open center, tells you that you can't relax, you can't play, you can't do something else until you finish your work.
Yeah.
What I've learned with an open root center, is that if we don't prioritize, leisure time, if we don't prioritize time for ourselves, it doesn't happen. It simply doesn't happen. I literally have on my schedule, on my planner, spa day or relax day or time with kids doing puzzles, because if I don't have them scheduled in,
Yeah.
they won't happen. I will always take on somebody else's work. I will always do something else that needs to be done. That's the feeling. There's something that needs to be done.
Yeah.
So it's very important for you to learn to prioritize self-care. It's very important for you to learn to prioritize time off and relaxing. The biggest risk with the open route, if you go on an entrepreneurial direction. If you go on an entrepreneurial direction, you're gonna feel like you're always doing something, and there's no time for something else.
Okay.
You can be an entrepreneur. You're actually very uh, rightly, let's say, aligned for that, to work solo, to come in and suggest projects. You could work as an entrepreneur, but you'll have to keep in mind that it might exhaust you. It might drive you to overdrive.
Okay. Yeah.
Your motivation is need. You know exactly what you need at all
Mm-hmm.
times. What's the basic needs that you need to, for example, you will know exactly, if you are an entrepreneur, to give you an example, you will know exactly how much money you need to produce to, one, keep your business afloat, two, keep yourself sustainable. You know what you need,
Okay. Yeah.
and that motivates you, that makes you able to move through projects easily. This is what this project needs to achieve, this is what this idea needs to get me. You are very highly motivated by what needs to be done and what needs to be obtained from that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you
Okay.
think like that in terms of needs, uh, you can reach any project, any need you want. It's going to feel quite easy. But your transference is fear. And we always transfer, especially when you work with others, you will automatically transfer. And the fear will tell you, but am I able to get that?
Mm. Okay.
Is it possible to get that? To give you an example, you would have a new project that, I don't know, needs 10 customers a month to be sustainable. And
Mm-hmm.
your need motivation would go, oh, that's easy, we promote it like this and that, and we just need 10, that means, I don't know, 2 or 3 per week, and
Yeah.
you'll automatically think logically in terms of everything that's needed, and it will feel doable. But fear kicks in. For example, in the first week you don't sell anything, so fear kicks in, and automatically it's going to go, is it possible? Should I keep doing this? Should I give up? It takes over. And the worst thing about going in transference is the fact that when it takes over, you can no longer think in terms of needs. It's one or the other.
Mm. Okay.
Now, as a trick to get you back on your motivation, is to step entirely out. This is an advice. I'm also using it. I'm also giving this advice to everyone I'm doing readings for. The transference and the motivation are at color level. So let me show you the wheel. This is the wheel. This is how we calculate human design. All
Yeah.
right. And this is a gate. You see, there's this whole part is one gate. But if you see up there, there's 6 lines. All right,
Yeah.
these are the lines, like your profile and everything. And now imagine each of that little part divided again in six, and that would be colors. So that's one, very precise. And second, it's very deep within you. And when you work with things at the color level, the best way to shift them, to shift from transference to your motivation, is music.
Yeah. Okay.
Step entirely away from any project and listen to whatever music suits you. That it doesn't really matter. It has to resonate with you. It has to be your personal thing,
Mm-hmm.
because it's gonna hype you back up, and you're gonna be back in your natural motivation instead of your transference.
Mm. Okay.
So saying I'm done right now, I can't think straight, I'm afraid right now, and I'm if I push further, you're gonna feel the need to push further because of these two open channels. You're gonna, especially when there's something happening, like the example I told you. You need 10 customers a month to make it sustainable, and in the first week you sell nothing. These two channels will make you push it. Oh, you have to push advertising harder. Oh, you have to work more. It didn't work. it's not never gonna work. It's quite an apocalyptic scenario happening inside you,
Yeah.
and it's gonna make you push even harder. But what you actually need to do is entirely step away, do something else, listen to music, relax, go in nature with your music, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you come back at it from a different point of view, you're going to find solutions based on the current needs, what changed and what needs you have right now.
Okay.
Now, your ideal environment is markets. You thrive in places where people hang around.
Okay.
I would actually suggest when you want to promote something to go to networking events, to go to, where people just hang around and chat.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna push you in the environment of people that will benefit you,
Okay.
that will see you, that will recognize that you bring something of value. So, uh, having researched something, like I said, in your alone time, and then speaking with it with your friends and family won't get you anywhere. It might actually get you in trouble, let's say, because the fifth line heretic, they will tell you why. Friends and family are most likely to tell you why it's not possible.
Okay.
But if you go to a networking event, if you go to somewhere where you meet even strangers or things like this,
Yeah.
there you're in your element and you're sharing your ideas with others, and some will click, some will not, but then you'll know who you need to be, working with.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, you can make very easily money from long-term projects
Mm-hmm.
because you have the ability to sell to others long-term projects. Like I said, you are here to start something. So let's say a creative idea. You want to do something regarding painting. So you can start an idea that you're teaching others how to paint, for example, just giving you an example from the top of my head.
Yeah.
And you start it, you create the groups, you do the first couple of sessions, and
Yeah.
then some of the people you trained at the beginning will pick
Mm-hmm.
up and they will do their own sessions and so on and so forth, and you will be the idea behind it, the administration, all the talents that the BG5 showed,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be your energetic input all the time.
Okay.
You implement it, you have the determination to start it, to lead it, but then you're going to move into a more of a background administrative role and let others deal with the everyday tasks.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
um, you are still very young, looking at your birth date, and you still have the ability, the time and the ability to start something. You're here to start something, and you are a cross of informing, so you are here to bring something, whether it is information, whether it is a research, whether it is an idea. You're here to inform the majority of people, to universalize something. So you can get an idea, start it up, and see who follows. It's
Okay.
it's less important if you do it in a, let's say, business setting for a business, or if you do it as an entrepreneur. The idea
Mm-hmm.
has to be yours. So
Okay.
if you're hired in a business, it should be for a project. It should be for something that you are leading. It shouldn't be you are part of the team and you're working like 24/7. That won't work for you. You will exhaust yourself.
Okay.
But if you're hired to lead a team, That's good. If you want to start a business, that works. You know what? The things that put you in a position to start something work best.
Okay.
Uh, I talked about the split definition. I talked about the open centers. I even talked about the colors. Let me know if you have any other questions.
Um, can I see the other properties? Can you scroll down?
So these ones, the ones that are for business,
Okay.
I'm gonna give them all to you anyway,
Oh,
because
oh, okay,
the
okay.
look this um, so export. No.
Thank you.
This one creates automatically. See, look, it creates automatically a file where it gives you everything. I'm gonna not
Mm,
put all
okay.
because you don't need a Dream Brave. Advanced viewing. Okay, incarnation cross, not needed. Rave mandala, okay. BG5C, it gives you all the aspects that are written there.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Merge into single PDF. Now, the other thing I wanted to tell you right before we finish is based on my own program. I'm working with alchemy and human design. And in my program, I noticed that the biggest issue most people have is with their Saturn design.
Mm,
So this is our biggest limitation. This is what the point where we start from, let's say. It's the thing that we wake up and kind of blocks us in the progress, because
yeah,
it's the hardest thing we have to overcome.
yeah.
Now, let me just hexagram, hex. No, it doesn't let me like that. Okay, let's see. 33. So the 33 is the contemplative witness, and your main issue is detachment. You might find yourself either actually detached, like you're not involved in relationships in your life, like you're not fully present with
Mm,
it, like there's part of you that holds back.
yeah.
um, to give you examples is you can be emotionally distant.
Mm-hmm.
You have emotional authority, like I said. You are usually getting the emotions and moving into nostalgia, just like I described. But you may seem to others, you come across as emotionally distant.
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
you might find it hard, you might hold back to fully connect with others on a deeper level, because you will be afraid to be misunderstood.
Okay.
You might be uninvolved, you might seem like you don't care, and people might actually mention it.
Oh, okay.
And you might struggle with forming deep connections. Like you might be the person who has different friends, but might consider you a friend, but you consider them more like acquaintances.
Mm, yeah.
Also, it might be an avoidance of solitude. You said you're comfortable in your aloneness, so it might not kick in yet. But you might have at certain times a need to fill your time with activities, just to do something so you don't feel the quietness.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
that's the opposite side of the same issue. Now, the thing is, the more you accept these aspects of you, the easier it's going to be to see that It's actually the detachment that you have, which you might consider in a way negative. I can't connect, I can't see things the way they do, I'm not as close as they think I am.
Mm-hmm.
Your detachment actually brings you a different kind of awareness. You have an outside perspective. You are a bit more objective. You are more observant.
Yeah.
And you will learn by noticing and by accepting this form of detachment, you will learn over time how to balance engagement with your thoughtful processes. It,
Yeah.
again, even here, it shows the same thing I said before. For you, it has to be an in and out, because if people get too close, it's overwhelming. But if they disappear completely, again, it makes you uncomfortable, and it actually makes time alone less comfortable. You usually enjoy it, but when you feel like people are pushing you away, it's going to feel like it's uncomfortable and you have to fill your time with something.
Yeah.
That's the thing that is going to be the hardest to get over. And it's important even in jobs and in relationships, because you are meant to universalize, you are meant to lead somewhere, some team somewhere, some people somewhere. But this detachment will kind of make you retreat at times from your role.
Okay.
So, yeah, you will have to learn to balance it out, to balance out the in time, the observant time, where you observe patterns and you notice what people are doing. And that's basically you have to learn to balance between being social and being observant, because sometimes you're treating people like you're studying them.
Uh,
You're
yeah.
studying them from an outside perspective, you're studying the group dynamics, you're studying the person. And sometimes you are social, you have the op- option to be super social and super involved, but it has to be in and out, it has to be a balance for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I think I kind of went through everything basically. If you have
Mm.
any questions, ask. Um,
No, I don't have any questions. I think you did a very good job analyzing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna send you the report that's automatically generated by this program. I don't think it will make much sense, but you might study through it and find other things. If
Okay.
some questions show up, yeah, whatever, afterwards, you can ask me through email,
Okay.
and I will send you even the recording of what we have, because a part of it wasn't recorded.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And again, you can, even for the part that wasn't recorded, if you have questions, you can ask me.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll talk through email.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.